You're talking about when I was down here by myself?
Yeah, your parents went somewhere.
It was between my junior and senior year in high school. All my brothers, every time any of us got out of high school, we were gone from the valley. We didn't stay down. And so I was the last one. Everybody else had already gone. So my dad took a job out on Kaibab Mountain with a lumber company. And he lived out there. He came home and down on the weekend, but he lived out there all week. His mom went with him, my mother went with him. And so it fell my lot to come down and take care of the usual water we had to take care of the ranch for that summer. It was a fun summer. It was one of the best summers I've ever had, really. Enjoyed it. Had the buddies that come down once in a while, want me to go to Kanab or someplace, and I told them I couldn't. I had to get up there the next morning. Go to work.
Great, yeah. And you stayed in the cave, right?
I slept in the cave, yeah.
At what point did that cave become just a storage unit and not a bedroom?
I guess by the time everybody moved out, I guess.
That makes sense, yeah. Because that was your parents' master bedroom, right? Didn't Grandpa?
After I graduated from high school, Dad left about that time on the ranch too. Orrin and Bill Keller took over the ranch for a while and tried to make it go.
And they lived down here. Those two couples lived down here.
They lived down here, yeah, for a while. And they cut out cedar posts out in the Elephant Cove.
Oh wow!
Haul them back to the wagon and sell them.
Oh my goodness!
But they didn't. It just wasn't. It's pretty hard to make a living down here.
When you say when Grandpa left, where did Grandpa go?
To Orderville.
Oh, just moved into town and.
Yeah. He still come down a lot, but he didn't do as much. He didn't run it anymore.
And what point was that? Because I remember.
Well, I'm not sure exactly because I remember.
Were you married?
I thought no.
It was long before that.
I think it's a year or two after I got out of high school. I remember. I don't know whenever it was. Leonard, or I keep saying Warren and Bill took over. It should have been. It was just within a very few years, a little more after I got out of high school.
Okay.
But the dad. I mean, they got the space to raise a family.
Yeah.
When they got through raising a family, they pretty well fulfilled their assignment.
It's pretty awesome.
Then after that, we leased the ranch. We leased it to different people that wanted to have cattle down here.
Did they ever live down here?
Yeah, nobody ever lived down here, but they ran cattle.
Oh, okay.
Down here and raised crops, some, mostly grazing, but raised crops, some. It was a great place for them to raise down here living because it was a good life. We had a good living. We didn't have any money, but we had a good living. We raised almost everything we ate. And then, Dad would run a bill up to, we call a bill of credit line, up to, we call Hans's store up.
Ramona's dad.
Ramona's dad, up in Orderville. And then when we'd sell something, hay or a cow or something, he'd go pay the bill and get her caught up. And that's the way it worked. And now, I mean, that's the way a lot of people did exactly the same thing we did. The other ranchers around, they're very similar. This one was unique down here because it was a lot prettier than all right. That's not the point. The point, it was a lot more difficult because of getting the water out of the river and keeping it out of the river was a problem then, and it's a problem now. That's why we're finally going to pump
the wells.
Another big problem we had was gophers.
Oh, that's still a problem.
Because it worked for them because it had open irrigation ditches. And they would dig along the ditch bank, then the water would get in the hole and wash the ditch bank out. And up the other side of the Stevens Cut, there's a place where the road was, where the ditch was right up. There's a ditch in the road and then the ditch bank. I mean, there was the open ditch and the road and the ditch bank. And it would, one night, the water got in the gopher hole and washed the road out clear down probably 12 or 15 feet deep. And the only way you had to fill it back up was, we thought, was to team and scraper,
Team of horses.
Team of horses, yeah. And then you had what they called a Fresno. It's still up there, I guess, up there.
Is it one of the things on the way down here?
Okay. But Leonard and Dad, Leonard was probably older than the rest of us. We were all involved in it. Leonard and Dad figured out a deal. They built a dam right along the lower side of where the road was going to be, up as high as it was feasible.
Oh, okay.
And then they would put a pipe in the top of it, so it went just across. Then put the pipe up a little bit with more dam. So then they would go up in water. They had water coming to the ditch as far as they could because the ditch was washed out there. They turned the water in there and they'd wash sand down into the hole. They filled it up with sand. Then when the sand got up, turned up to almost the pipe, they turned the water off and build another dam and move the pipe
Oh my
up.
goodness.
And it worked out really well. It was a lot faster, really, when doing it. Trying to straighten
Even
it.
that sounds so tedious, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
It went pretty good. But anyhow, that was the gophers that way were real colorful.
I didn't know that.
A lot of ditch banks would get, as a field bank, creek banks would get washed out in the fields. You're getting open fields and then you open ditches, what we call flood irrigation. And they'd get the gopher hole and then wash out, and if you're not right there, which you wouldn't be all the time, it would wash away pretty bad, a lot of damage to the fields and so forth.
Did you know I don't have any idea how both of you met and got married? I have no idea how. I don't even know how they met.
I've wondered about that.
So how did you both meet and then you?
The main thing I've wondered about is how in the world I talked her into marrying her.
It wasn't hard.
A lot of people wondered that same thing. In fact, it's a common question that went on for quite a while. Go ahead, Mom.
Weren't you both sophomores?
Pardon?
Weren't you both sophomores? You in high school and you in college?
Yeah, I
Where
graduated.
Where did you meet?
Cedar City.
Oh, Cedar City. Oh.
I graduated.
Okay. I lived there.
I graduated from high school the year she graduated from primary.
Oh.
That's not true.
So wait, your grandma was a sophomore in high school and you were a sophomore in college just at SUU?
Yes.
How did you meet? Who met who? How did you get introduced?
Well, I saw her at the church.
CSU then.
Yeah, I saw her. Yeah, BAC then.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Some of us guys would go around and we didn't really care that much about the girls, but we kind of checked in the local places out to see, what's going on. And we ended up at a church activity at her church. And I saw her in a crowd, and I thought, okay, that's the one. So I started from
That's the one you're interested in, or were you thinking that's the one?
I was thinking that's the one, both. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so cute. You just saw me.
He's embellishing a little bit.
So
It's a good story. Let him go.
Finally, then one of my friends went with her. I found out after that, and someplace in front of her, and he introduced me to her to dance. And somehow our friendship cooled off a little bit.
Threw the friend over and took the girl.
No, we were still buddies. But anyway, that's the way we. Go ahead. I'm doing all the talking here.
Oh, he danced with me. Hey, he danced with me that night.
Yeah. Well, she really snuggled up too.
And he has a temple rip in him.
So then how long did you date?
Well, about 2 years. I was a sophomore. I don't know what time of year it was, but I came home that summer and worked out on the kayak with my dad. He was still working on that.
What does that mean, really quick? Working on the kayak?
It was in a sawmill.
Oh, okay.
When the
Okay.
lumber had come off, the big old planks would come off the belt on the conveyor we'd stack them from the outside. And I worked there part of the time. Then I connected around and went back to Cedar. Well, the Cedar over because there was things more interesting with that. And worked for the college fund. It was 2 years total because at least a little over 2 years because it
We
was
were
in the
both
fall.
sophomores and then we both graduated.
And when we both graduated, that was 2 years later. Plus a little bit at a time. I got married in
September.
September. Yeah, a little 2 years.
So when were you in the military then? Right after that? Or
You talk a while.
I don't remember when you were in the military.
like when you were in Germany?
Well, that determined when you got married, didn't it? Because of the letters
Yeah,
that
we
you
were-
got.
Because my mom was born in Germany, so you were in Germany at some point.
Must have been, yeah.
Yeah, you had to be there.
We were there when she was born.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you were there.
I was on order when I got out of graduated from college in the spring. I was on orders then to go to Far East. I didn't say exactly where, but it was in the Far East. Could have been Japan, it could have been Korea, to the Korean conflict. And so we debated, we were going together when I could catch up with her. And we wanted to get married or not. We weren't sure. She wasn't sure. I was pretty sure what I wanted to do. And we decided, well, finally decided, we both agreed on it, that was too close, leaving too soon. And just wasn't going to work out to get married that effective. She separated. You didn't know whether how soon she'd be able to join me in the military or whether you know where I'd be staying.
Oh, okay.
And so we decided not to get married until I came home. Well, I knew that would be the end of it. You could just see the guys lined up around different places.
I'm sure they were.
They were.
I'm sure they were.
I'm not kidding. They
I'm
were.
sure.
I know. We know he's
it.
telling the truth.
I really believe this.
Yeah, that was, in fact, when we were still, I'll back up a little bit, when we were in college, I was still at Cedar City, normally the guys were going to go to college, the guys were going to go college in agriculture, and they majored in agriculture. We go to Cedar for 2 years, and then go to Logan for 2 years, Utah State University 2 years, and then graduated in whatever aspect of college. Well, I got the end of 2 years, and I could see when I went to Logan exactly what was going to happen. Just as far as our relationship was concerned, because there's you guys just, you know,
Standing in
place, you
line.
just see them young,
Yeah.
that's right.
Just standing in
So I
line,
got my
growing
little-
nose.
College catalog out and figured out how I could go one more year in Cedar City and still graduate 1 year after in Logan.
Very tricky.
And this is really because I thought that'd be the best for a career, of course. So that's what I did. And then back to the military thing. We decided not to get married, and then about 2 weeks or less, about 2 weeks, I guess, before I was supposed to report for active duty, we got a telegram from the government saying, because of financial problems the government was having, that the orders had been canceled, and they'd be reissued later on, and it indicated it'd probably be quite a while, but we didn't know. And so we got married and went to Logan, went up to the state fair in Salt Lake. You take it a while. You take it a while.
And then we came home.
That's how important it was to her.
Okay, so you went and then came home to where?
The Cedar.
The Cedar. Yeah, we were living in that. Your folks with
Grandma and Grandpa.
Grandma, yeah.
In the apartment.
Oh, in the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, that back room.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that's
back room. And that was the apartment.
that
was the
apartment. Yeah.
Which means there was a bedroom and a bathroom, like a little like just a little hotel room, and then you're
Oh my goodness! You lived there when you were first married? That is
A day or two.
cool.
Well, we knew it was going to be temporary. We didn't know how temporary. When we got married, we go ahead and went to Logan.
We didn't think it was
went up
not
to
going to be temporary. when we got
not the
married.
marriage, just the housing.
The housing situation, the location of the marriage would be temporary.
We went to Salt Lake to the state fair, and then we went on up to Logan and
Picked out an apartment.
and talked to the professors up there, because I just recently graduated from there, and well, the original plans were to go to 2 years of college and then get out of college, out of 2 years of, 2 years of military, get out of the military and then go back to college someplace for advanced degrees. And I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Wisconsin because there's a guy that was really a major professor I wanted to really work with. And
I'm the boss.
under the circumstances, we went to Logan, and it was too late to get into anything, you know. But I talked to him and said, come on up and we'll put you on temporary financing and straight up to get you on a scholarship or assistantship with college. So we had it all worked out, and we knew after you went to college, university or the college there, Logan, then went and got an apartment, remember? Well, tell them about it.
I don't know about it.
You know all about it.
I don't know all about it.
There's a nice little lady that had just a little place.
She didn't ask us for a deposit or anything. She just said she'd hold it for us. And we called her up and said, never mind, we're not coming after him. Well, he's coming to that.
Coming to that part.
So then they had it all set up again. These were rosy. And I thought, well, I'll start graduate school. I may end up, and maybe you go, you never know when I'll ever get to college. So we drove back to Cedar City, and there was waiting for me was an orders report for active duty. And about, well, it was in October, it was in this is about a month later, this report for active duty. So at least I kind of chuckled. I took care of whether or not we should have got married or not, because it's too late to change
Nailed
that.
down.
Sorry.
It's all done now. Done deal. So,
And you were married in the St. George Temple. Who was with you? Or both your parents?
yes, both of our parents are. Yeah.
Both sets of parents and
Sets of parents.
some of your siblings.
Warren?
Warren and Blondie were there, and I think that was probably it.
Miss Rodney? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, from my side, I'm not sure from your side, Rodney.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you have a luncheon or any of that kind of stuff like we do now, or did you have a
I
reception?
can't remember. It's been too long.
We didn't go hungry, so
No.
I guess we
Did
must
you
have had a lunch.
did you go and ask her? Did you how were you with her dad, Grandma's dad? Like, did you go and ask
Says
if
I'm
you could
marrying your
marry
kid.
her?
Yeah, good
Is
question.
there a
This is
story
the
with
thing.
that?
I figured I should do that. And he worked up at the state road. I knew about it when he got off work and everything, but for some reason, something came up there. I was working at the college farm, and something always came up, and I couldn't quite make it when he was going to be coming off. And so, first thing I knew, it was too late. The time had gone by, and I couldn't make it. I felt terrible that I didn't do it.
So he just married.
So he just married you.
So by the way, we're getting married.
But he
Actually,
did.
it was just
But he
fun.
did agree with it. He did agree to it. He wasn't very happy, but he agreed.
But did you? So you knew him before and everything.
Oh
You knew
yeah.
Grandpa
Oh
Brown.
yes. Yes.
and
He was there when I brought her home. Yeah.
So that was a nice
That's a
relationship.
You had a really good relationship with Grandma and Grandpa Brown. I know you did.
I thought we did. I'm not sure what they thought, but I liked it.
They liked him.
They were special. One of the things that I remember was that she told me about her folks, and well, the first time I met her dad, I thought this is just like a general authority, just like visiting the general authority.
He looked like it.
Yeah.
He was like it.
Yeah, they're great.
Sorry about that.
That's the best part.
You can cut it out. You can go Janet, of course. You can cut it out.
I remember Grandpa Brown, but Grandma Brown was actually I remember her opening a drawer for me, the toy drawer in the kitchen. Then the next memory I have, she was in a wheelchair, pointing at her music box that I have now because she couldn't
do
speak.
you?
Yes, you gave it to me. You gave it to
I'm
my
so
mom.
good.
Yes, I have it. That's my only.
Allison's not all that sentimental. There are a few things that are really treasures to her. That was one
Yes,
of them.
that's one of them. Because she couldn't speak, and so she was pointing. And we were trying everything, and then we turned on the music box, and then she sat and was happy with the music. It was that music box with the little powder puff in the top, and then she was in her bed. I have 3 memories of her. But Grandpa Brown, I have lots of memories. Because he just
You know, it's interesting because that's the same as how I have with Grandma and Grandpa Foote. I've got about 3 memories of Grandma Foote,
Yeah.
and the last one was her being in bed and not being able to get up
Yeah.
and
yeah.
see us. And then, but Grandpa Foote obviously got.
Grandpa was really,
Yeah.
I remember him a lot. Really tall and thin. Graham crackers and milk and scrambled eggs. Lots of memories of Grandpa Brown.
So you got your military orders, and then what happened after that?
So we had to do some basic training. In a sense, basic training was learned as a training program for radar, like ground-to-air radar. It's called the early warning system.
Oh,
So we would watch the radar across the enemy lines, and when we were in Germany, we'd watch up across what they called then the Iron Curtain, up across Czechoslovakia and so forth, or the places that were occupied by the Russians. We could watch that whole area with radar, and if they ever came across, then we would be with telephone or radio read, we would tell
Scramble.
the pilots to scramble, and they'd fly up and try to see what's going on. Check it out.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's really cool.
And we could see them all the time. You'd see them going back and forth what they call the Iron Curtain, Czechoslovakia especially. You see planes in and on radar just going back and forth and back, right down as far as they could come without getting over in our territory.
Oh, my
It
gosh.
was interesting. But a lot of the time was to spend in training. They would send aircraft up and we would tell them where to go to shoot them. And one of them would say, okay, say you have 2 aircraft go up at the same time. One would be what they call the bogey of the enemy. He'd go right up next to the line where the Russians were. And he'd turn around and come back down toward us like he was going to get us. The other guy'd go after him.
Scramble.
And he'd go up and like he's going to shoot him down. And these were told if they get a locked on, we tell them how to line up so that he'd be just right. When they got to a certain point, so that if they fired, they would hit the enemy. They'd be coming like this. They'd be coming in at 90, and so they'd be here and they'd be here. And then if they'd fire, just at the time this guy'd be right to where the rocket was going to go. And it was all automatic. Way back then, it was the computer.
Wow.
Yeah. They'd fly, they'd come in, they'd go right over. Sometimes you hit them head on, which depended on, if they couldn't get there in time to get out here and back, if it took time, then they'd come right over like this. And they'd shoot and they'd go right over, and they'd be traveling, 600 miles an hour and go about 8 feet above each other.
8 feet?
Yeah.
Were there ever
Not
any?
when we were there, they weren't, no.
Oh my goodness.
Anyhow, we had a lot of fun enjoying weather. It was good.
So you had your own video game. You're on the bottom.
Yeah, basically.
I never thought of it that way. Anyhow, that was what I did all the time I was there. I was there for about 13 months. And And Barbara was there for about a year. I was about a month there before she came back.
There was some story you told me about being out in a field and like kind of by yourself. It was some kind of military thing, some kind of military maneuver thing or training or something. Weren't you sitting on a bucket out in the field or something? I can't remember what you told me.
I've told a lot of stories.
If something sounds very vaguely familiar, jump in with it.
So, Grandma, when my mom was born, tell me about how that was. Because you were living in Germany, and you had to be like pregnant in Germany with.
Did you go over? Were you pregnant before you went over? Yeah. So you traveled pregnant and stuff.
And how did you get there? Like, what did you get? Flew? Oh, you flew.
Your folks drove you to New York and put it on a plane. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! All the way across the country. Whoa! What the? Why didn't you get on a plane sooner? Earlier, even closer. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Maybe they wanted to see the country.
That's
Drove
awesome.
you across the country. Just your mom and dad and you?
I don't know. It's a long time ago. Wonder if Marilyn went with us.
Wow. Oh yeah, because she was
a lot younger. She's 5 years younger than you, right? So
And a half, I think.
I was there about a month ago before she came, and I don't know how much of that time they were driving to New York. That would take quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
It was probably a little over a month that I was there, but
I would have had the same birthday as Aunt Connie, right? Except that you were on a different, because of the time, the date line, whatever the date thing. I remember her telling me that. She was excited I was going to have the same birthday, but it turned out she's the 19th and I'm the 20th. I was almost a year old when you moved back, right?
She was about a year old, and then you went back to.
She and Grandpa Foote were in a very bad car accident.
my parents and all of the
Oh, your parents were.
My parents, yes. So we went back on emergency leave, and it was close enough to being on the time up in the service that the government said, well, it's not feasible to take you back over. Besides that, you'd probably mess things up anyway.
I'm sure.
Hadn't you saved up all your vacation time?
Yeah, we've been saving all of our vacation time. I know.
Go see Germany.
To see things,
to
to
go see
travel and everything. We're going to go up to see the Tulip Festival and all that. And that all went by the wayside. Then we went back home, back to Orderville Inn, and then I used up all of the leave I had to be with my folks as long as I could until the leave was all gone. They went back on active duty, and they sent me to a place down, another early morning church station down in Louisiana on the coast.
Houma.
Oh, okay.
Houma, Louisiana.
That's all I know.
So we finished out the rest of our time there until our time ran out, and then we went from there back, went there straight to Wisconsin to go to graduate school. Yeah.
Okay, and what school was it you went to? Like,
University of Wisconsin in Madison.
for what? What was your degree? I mean,
Animal physiology.
animal physiology. Okay.
Did you get a master's first and then the doctorate?
Yeah.
And then Aunt Elise was born somewhere. Was she born
She
there?
must have been.
She was born
somewhere.
in Wisconsin.
I was with her.
Oh, you were with her again. You were really
She
there
just
with
was there
those
for
kids.
all of us. It's
So
amazing.
supportive of these children. Love that.
The work we do was for the university, and it was for work that applied to our degree. It was a research type degree. It had to take a lot of classes, all right, but you had to do research and publish the research in order. That was part of the requirement to get a degree. So we get a one month vacation time a year, which is good, really. And so we'd come back to Utah for that vacation time every year. We were there, 4 years, I guess. And Warren, my brother Warren, was there. He went there a year before I did, and then he left a year earlier than I did. We had the same age professor and everything, so we're right. Warren and I were home missionary companions. I guess they called us state missionaries, and it was in a branch. He got a real strong branch, but that was Northern Warren. I don't know how it happened. We got onto a family of 9 people. We baptized them, all of them except we had 3 kids, I think, weren't old enough to be baptized. So we baptized all the rest of them, and my dad was a great big guy, and it fell my lot to baptize him. I remember we did
Got him down all right.
Yeah, that part wasn't difficult. Anyway, then of course we left, and they moved away, and we moved away when we got a degree. We left and back at where we went. Warren went to Utah State, and I went to Logan. I went to Reno, Nevada, University of Nevada. And so we lost track of those people. And they became inactive. And it was kind of like some of us do. We were active for a while, and then we kind of go in and out, don't do like this.
Yeah.
And a few years ago in Reno, I had a phone call from a woman that said that she'd called the temple in Reno and asked if I was a sealer in the Reno temple. And she told her yes, and she said, well, I'd like to visit with you. So they gave me my numbers, we visited, and this was the daughter of that family, one of the daughters. She had seen my name our name in the paper when we were called to be temple president, I think it was. And so she figured out the sealer, and so she said, my parents were never sealed. Would you do it?
Yes. I love
So
it.
on their 70th wedding anniversary, which would have been the 70th, we sealed them.
That is really cool. And were many of the children there?
We had there's one child that had died, and we sealed him to them, and then there were others. About half, part of them were active and part of them were not active. That's what they told me. They lived in Ohio, and they had a temple back there. I said, why don't you do it back there? He said, we want you to do it because you've been part of it.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
They didn't come though, did they? They had proxies.
No, she didn't come out at all. She just sent the paperwork out. We did it, and then she said, well, once we're live, we'll take care of it back here.
That's so neat. That's so
But it was
neat.
fun. It was really a fun thing.
Yeah, I love
Anyhow,
that.
that was, I don't know how we got off on that. But
Easily.
Great
So
story.
anyhow, back to the births of the kids. Dave, one trip when we were coming out, and for the summer, Barbara was quite a ways along. She came out earlier on the train, and then I came out later.
I remember coming out on the train. Didn't you come out
She and you came out.
pregnant? Well, at least, you would have had 2 little kids and pregnant coming out on a train across
was a lot
the
of fun.
country. I can't imagine.
So then the rest of the kids, after Dave,
So Dave was born in Cedar City.
He was born in Cedar City.
Do you want my candy?
I remember you putting him in the laundry basket. I thought that was the coolest thing because it's that oval wicker laundry basket with like a pillow or something in the bottom, and that cute little baby just tucked in there. I thought that was like Moses or something. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Wouldn't it be devoted if he'd have put him in?
I don't know. We didn't never try it. It
He
was
had to
tempting.
figure out the pillow would curl up around him so he couldn't breathe, so he had to curl the pillow down and watch him.
I'd forgotten
I kind
all
of
about
remember
that.
wanting to try to float him in the sink, but I don't think we ever tried it. Good thing you didn't try that.
You'd have been in big trouble.
I would have been in big trouble. But yeah, I vaguely
probably
remember the
would have been
train. But I can't even imagine 2 little kids. We're all 2 years apart, right? At that point, you were
All 2 of you?
well, 2, me and then Elise, and then 2, and then you were 2 years later pregnant with the next one, and then driving. So you would have had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old on a train across the country, being giant pregnant. Yeah, that had to have been loads of fun.
I'm sure that was great.
How did we sleep? Was it like a bed car thing or?
I can't
What do
remember
I know?
How long the train ride was? It was pretty long. It's
I
about
don't think we
2,000
just sat up. I don't
It was
think
a
we
long.
had slots.
And then you were gone someplace. You were gone a while. Were you there when David was born?
I don't think so. I got there right after, I think, because I remember. I think you went out.
my
with David
goodness.
when I got
I just
there.
remember Elise didn't like you. Elise didn't want anything to do with you or something when we. I don't know if I remember or if I
He
remember you
doesn't
talking
remember
about
that.
it.
She's been that way most of her life.
No, she had to warm up a little bit. She was kind of ticked. You'd abandoned her or something. I don't know, but it just seemed like we hadn't seen you for a while, and she was worried. Yeah,
I can't remember.
something like that. She wasn't mad. She just,
Anyhow,
was
the
just
rest of the kids-
hesitated.
The other 13 kids were born in. They were born in Reno.
They were born in Reno. All the rest. So,
And the fluoride thing, I always remember the fluoride thing is you either had fluoride in the water with the first 3 of us, right? And then we moved to Reno and there was no fluoride, and so Ray didn't have fluoride with Ray, and then your brothers insisted on fluoride pills with the other 3. So
Ray had rotten
Ray's the
teeth.
one that had the worst time with teeth.
What do I know?
well, yeah, what do we all know?
Yeah,
we just
what
do
do we all
it.
know? Anyway, sorry,
So-
go ahead.
He knows.
So, with all this, what are some of the things you've learned? What do you want all of us to do?
Don't eat dirt.
Don't eat dirt. I won't ever eat dirt, Grandma. I'll never do it.
Now you tell us.
Yeah. All right, let's go get the kids.
Round
Those
them up.
kids did have dirt in their mouth just now when I took a picture. That dirt, we're licking an ice cream cone.
Be good boys and girls. You know, I mean, that's in literal sense. I mean, in a real way. We've been. You're always you'd be concerned when you're raising your own family and you got a young son on a mission.
Yeah.
And so you know that what you've gone through, I'm feeling as you start to raise your family, you'll hope that they'll stay close to church and everything. And I guess the main thing that I've already hoped about all my children, all my posterity, is that they would stay close to the gospel. It didn't make any difference. Elder President J. Reuben Clark Jr. made a comment. It doesn't matter where you serve, but how you serve. And that's been the philosophy we've had, is that if you just stay close to church, it won't make everything will take care of itself. If you just, and as we watched our kids grow and grandkids grow and everything, and go on missions and have positions in the church, we've been very pleased. But the main thing we're pleased about is the fact that they're staying close. So it doesn't matter whether they're the bishop or whether they're Sunday school or whether they're teaching the kids in the nursery, whatever. As long as they're doing it, what the Lord wants them to do, that's what's important. And so I guess that's what it amounts to, stay worthy and prepared spiritually to be called, whatever your Lord told you to do.
Yeah, I remember one time we were at the ranch, I think Cole and Alex were little, and we were just leaving, and you came out and said, thanks for trying hard to raise them, because I don't have to worry so much. I always thought, he worries about Mike? Great, now I'm going to have to, it's a...
Mom, growing up, I've always known how important, I've known how important education is to both of you, but I know, I grew up knowing that you wanted to go back to school. And talk about that a little bit.
To go to school?
To go to school, to go to college. Yeah, didn't you have like maybe one class or something of college just after you were married, and then
100 years ago.
But you went
and you were and then you became a teacher, right? After you had kids,
a reading specialist. But talk about that a little bit. Your education and when you finally went back, and
like how many kids did you have when you went back to school?
7.
Oh, all your kids.
Yeah, they were all up old enough she could get away.
So they were all grown up, and then.
No, they weren't all grown up. But
I mean,
Julie was a little younger.
All ages, you could get babysitters and stuff. I don't know. I spent 1,000 years and got my degree, and then he says, well, I think you ought to go ahead and get your master's. And I'm going, what? So I did.
So you did? You got your master's?
And graduated with honors, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, she was
Yeah, with
reading.
honors.
So you taught children how to read, or you helped the ones that were...
Oh, you see her face? She made a difference. Talk about some of those kids. Tell about the lady in pennies.
I don't remember about the ladies in pennies.
Think about it a second, you will.
I handed her my credit card, and she looked at it and said, Foote, did you teach at school at Virginia Palmer School? I said, I did, and she said, my son loved you. I don't know who the heck he was, but I know I loved him too. Oh, that was the star of my show. What more could you ask?
Yeah. So were you teaching kids to read, or like struggling readers?
The ones that were a little behind would come to me. Yeah,
She'd pull them. You pulled them out, right? You'd take them out of class.
We've got a few of those.
5 of them from a class, and they'd come to me, and I'd go get them so they didn't go amok on the way from the school after the. I was in
They were AWOL, the pods or something.
Something, yeah.
Cubicle things, whatever they call it. Trailers.
I don't know. They were trailers, yeah, out and back.
But there were a lot of little kids that loved her.
They all did, or they'd have got beat.
It was another Grandma Brown type teacher that loved the kids, and they loved her.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I've got 2 struggling readers, so the ladies that have helped my kids, they love them more than their teachers. The ones that took them aside and that did what you did. But I didn't think of that you do worry about your posterity. That you really, but you're now not in charge of raising. I never thought of that till you said that day. I thought, I better do a really good job so that I can try to not worry about my posterity, because it just kind of made my job a little more, important. Not that I didn't think so, but I didn't think about that. There's going to be a time where you don't have, like you do your time and then they go.
It's kind of like worry once removed.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I thought, I didn't
worry once removed.
I just thought, I'm going to really try and do this as best as I can, and then my kids, maybe I can say that one day to my grandchild.
Yeah, and you know how it is. There's an anticipation and a concern because there's so many things in the world that take so many kids away from what they should be doing, and people and adults too, for that matter. But it's interesting because we've gone through the anticipation stage, and now we're going through the reflection stage and thinking back, on what's happened and everything. And I guess the thing I feel best about life is that we have made a very important contribution to the world, to the posterity, to our posterity. I feel that's bragging maybe, but that's okay. I don't mind bragging on that.
You can go ahead and brag.
I'm not saying that my kids are better than anybody else. I'm saying they've stayed true to the gospel. And
They're all good.
to me, that's that's the most important thing. I feel like that's
And
our
your grandkids
contribution,
help.
our contribution to the world, of the church, but really to society.
Yeah, that's awesome.